Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Friends, neighbors, countrymen, lend me your buttholes. It's time for the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
What are you going to do with their buttholes?
Well, you know, you never know when you may need a butthole.
Might need a second one? All right. I'm just saying.
I was watching a bunch of these short videos on Reels and TikTok with Fred Rogers.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. He's really out there now.
Yeah, he's out there. He's hanging out with Tupac.
Right?
And who's the guy that painted? Bob Ross.
Bob Ross? Yeah.
He's just got a whole thing going on, man. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, there are some people that say those are fake.
Come on.
I know.
Now.
Hey, Pittsburgh Kevin knows Mr. Rogers. That is Mr. Rogers talking to that waitress from Hooters. Okay?
Look, they wouldn't put it on the internet if it wasn't real.
Thank you, Lou. You are absolutely correct.
You listen to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. That's what you're listening to.
Oh.
Don't forget to join us every Monday evening at 9 p.m. on Rock Rage Live on Facebook. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But rockrageradio.com is the website where you can go. You can download the free app. Don't forget to hang out with music from the 412.com. Very similar, but based around the whole Pittsburgh scene. Great concerts and live performances and music videos and great music talk and all kind of fun stuff over there at musicfromthe412.com. And don't forget to hang out with us at innercircle.loulombardi.com. That's our private Facebook group, and we have a lot of fun in there. Okay, so I don't know what we're going to even do tonight. We're going to talk about Ace Frehley.
Oh, yeah.
The Space Ace.
Yeah.
Kind of unexpected, right?
Yeah, that was when you first texted me. Number one, I trashed Loudini because he knows what he's talking about. But I'm like, no, and I had to go immediately and look it up, and sure enough, he had left the planet. Wow.
He went to the space. He is the Space Ace.
He is the Space Ace now.
Oh, Space Ace.
So
let's talk a little Ace, Space Ace.
Yeah,
Mr.
of course.
Pittsburgh is in the house. What's up, Mr.
Hey,
Pittsburgh?
everybody.
Were you what was your relationship with Kiss? Everybody has something to say about Kiss.
I'm not allowed to talk about it for another.
Stop it.
Oh, anyway, Kiss. Wow, man, I remember I was a kid when Kiss really hit the scene. And this is back in the day before you could actually see anything. We didn't have YouTube or MTV or anything like that. So all of a sudden, this wall of sound would come out of my stereo speakers, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's cool!" And then, I think I saw the first time I got a really good look at him was on album covers and the backs of albums, and I'm like, "What is up with these guys?" I don't know. Maybe it was like this with you, but we were far more accepting. Four guys dressed up in this crazy makeup, you didn't even question it. You're like, yeah, that's Kiss. But always enjoyed me some Kiss. The Daughter, I never got to see them live. Did you ever get to see them live?
I never saw them live. Lily, I know, seen them a whole bunch.
Yeah, my daughter, I forget how old she was. She was mid-teens, and she's like, Dad, my friend has a ticket to go see Kiss. Can I go? I'm like, absolutely. So she was texting me and sending me pictures from the concert, and I'm like, you got to do something I never got to do. I never got to see Kiss. She was absolutely floored by them. She loved it. So yeah. What? Hey,
I never saw them live. So I didn't know really what to think of them when they first came out. I liked the songs.
Yes.
I thought that the whole presentation was kind of weird. I don't know. I just but then I just started to accept that it was just Kiss.
Yeah, it's just
That's
Kiss.
kind of what they did. That was their shtick.
their shtick.
That was their shtick. But Ace was born April 27, 1951, in the Bronx, New York. He came from a nice middle class family. His dad was an electrical engineer. I believe his mother and his brother and sister are all classical musicians.
Wow.
He started playing guitar because his brother let him play with his acoustic guitar.
Uh-huh.
And they were trying to start a family folk group, but Ace wasn't interested in that.
No.
He was mainly he was in gangs, and it was really music that kind of got him out of the gang thing.
Oh, cool.
He says that music kind of saved his life. But the thing of it was, what did he say? He said that he'd been messing around with the guitar acoustically, and it was a friend of his that got an electric guitar, and he let Ace play it. He said the first thing Ace said was he plugged the guitar in, turned the amp all the way up, and hit an E chord, and it was immediately he was hooked.
Yep, that'll do it.
So his grades were shitty. He never he was hanging out with the wrong crowd, but it was like when he got into music, his parents could see that he was, this was something that, he liked. Very similar to Eddie Van Halen, though, at a very young age, he realized that he could overcome stage fright with some alcohol.
Oh.
And this was really what Ace's sort of drug of choice. Yes, he did a lot of cocaine and things like that, but it was really the alcohol that was really
took away those
that was really his thing. So he got heavily into alcohol at a very, very young age. He started drinking at 11.
Oh, wow.
The reason he ended up with the name Ace was because he was once he started playing guitar and everything like that, he always, everywhere he went, he dressed like a rock star. And he did things like he would get backstage, he went to some festival in New York, kind of dressed rock starred out, and he got ushered backstage and ended up setting up Mitch Mitchell's drum set for Jimi Hendrix Experience. Wow. They just thought he belonged there.
Yeah.
And so he would always end up in these situations. He ended up meeting a lot of famous people this way. But the reason he got the name Ace was because he was doing this thing, this rock star thing, he would get his friends laid by, you know what I mean? Because they thought these girls thought that, oh wow, a rock star. So there was a funny story where he was hanging out, and he said he told one of his friends, he said, at some point I need you to come up to me and ask me for my autograph.
Brilliant.
So his friend comes up and says, "Hey man, I love your music and I have your autograph." And immediately all these chicks started flocked to him,
Yes.
And this was back in the late 60s, early 70s, when that's really all it took.
Yeah. Oh, you're in a band? Oh.
So guy. He got the nickname Ace right there because he was kind of the ace with the chicks, you know?
Yes. That's great.
So, yes, he was in Kiss. I don't know if you know that. One of the things that one of the sort of Gene's vision for Kiss was to be like the Beatles, where they all wrote songs and sang.
Right.
But Ace was terribly shy about his voice, and it took. I cannot remember which album it was, if it was Dressed to Kill or. I can't remember which album it was, but he didn't sing for several albums. And Ace Gene and Paul were really on his ass about singing. And eventually he sang. He said it was I believe Bob Ezrin was on the session, and he said he made everybody leave, and Ace laid down with the lights off. And he said it was okay, and he said that started giving him some confidence. So he started contributing more and more to the Kiss sound. His audition was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He said that he had been trying to get into something and he was getting really frustrated, and he saw an ad in the Village Voice, and he called this guy up, and this guy's name was Paul, and he said Paul sounded very professional, and so Ace was
He's like,
impressed with him and
all
everything.
right, yes.
He said, we're going to have you come to an audition, and he showed up in an audition. There was a bunch of other people there, and so he had to have his mom drive him to the audition because he didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And on the way, he made her stop and get like a 40-ouncer beer,
boy.
and he chugged it.
Yep.
And he says that he got there and he wanted to warm up, so he went over into like the corner, was playing, and Gene yelled at him. And he said when he showed up to audition for Kiss, they wanted him to fill out a job application. So he's like, "Fuck no, I'm not filling a goddamn job application." He's like, "I'm not doing that." He says, "I don't even do that when I like go actually to try to get a job. I don't even fill a job application." So they were mad at him about that. They thought his attitude sucked. He was drunk, and he was too loud while the other guitar players were trying to audition. But when he played with them, like,
guess what?
He played like the longest out of any of the guys. They played like 20 minutes. And he says that Gene was pissed and made him play some song. I think it might have been, what song? I can't remember what song. Deuce.
Okay.
He made him play Deuce, and he nailed it. Did really good. And so Paul told him, he said, we're going to call you back. We're going to call you in a couple weeks. So, he goes home and doesn't know what to think. He's like, did I get the gig? Did I not get the gig? I don't know. And they did. They called him in 2 weeks, and they came back to audition again. And this time, all their girlfriends were there. And so what he surmised was that the guys wanted to see how women would
respond to him. So
Kiss had, like, if you read Gene's book, Kiss and Make Up, like, Gene had a whole, like, vision for what he wanted Kiss to be. And, he sort of had it kind of mapped out in his head, and that was part of it. He tells a story in the book that in the course of auditioning guitar players, they auditioned a guitar player that they really liked. The guy had fantastic tone. He played very soulfully. He sang really, really well, but he was black. And they were like,
he should have been a white face.
They didn't think that it would jibe what they were trying to do. And he said it really wasn't a race thing, although, maybe it was, I don't know. But it was just that, like, they had a vision for what they wanted it to be. So they eventually had to tell this guy, you're just not a good fit, because the look and everything was important. Right. And so one of the funny stories is that so some of you guys may know this, but at the time they did not have a name yet. They had been Uncle Lester. Wicked Lester.
I knew Lester.
They were Wicked Lester, and they had a record contract, but it fell through. But they still kept that industry connection. They had that connection. They couldn't come up with a name. And then one of the guys, I can't remember who it was, suggested they name the band Fuck. And
only PHUK.
And the problem with that was they knew that they would never ever get signed. They would never get on the radio with that name. But somebody said, I was in a band called Lips, which led to Kiss and everything.
There you go.
But the Kiss logo with the way the S's are made, Gene or Ace Frehley came up with that.
Really?
He's an artist.
Oh,
he was actually
all right.
he was actually an artist. He was a very good artist.
Like lightning bolts. Yeah. Interesting.
And one of the early controversies with Kiss was people said those looked suspiciously like the Nazi SS.
No, you're very no, that's not right to tell. Silly.
So these are things I did not realize about Ace, was that he came up with that.
Wow.
But it was a full band effort. They wanted, and he said Gene and Paul were not partiers. He says, but Peter was. So him and Peter, they bonded over drinking and doing drugs a lot. He said they would get really pissed. The other guys would get really pissed at them for partying and everything like that. But that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's what they did. Eventually, Ace left Kiss officially in 1983, but he had actually wanted it announced to the band that he was leaving in 1982. But the rest is kind of freaking history. They did all these great albums together, and so one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about Kiss is that they were not, while they really grew and really did well with their live shows, their records sold for shit. They could not get the records to sell well, to the point where the record label, Casablanca Records, was like, the guy had been running it on his credit cards.
Wow.
And they were running out of money, and it was like, so they were like, okay, it was kind of like Rush.
Yeah, yeah.
You could do one more record.
One more record.
And so they were like, Eddie Kramer, they got Eddie Kramer involved because they did a demo with Eddie Kramer, which Ace always felt like the demo they did with Eddie Kramer at the very beginning sounded way better than any of their albums.
Oh, man.
But they got Eddie Kramer involved, and they decided they were going to do live album because they were like, we do so well live.
Right.
Let's
present
maybe
that.
we should do a live album. And so they went and they recorded in multiple cities, but every time they did, there was some problem. In some key moment on some one of their like good songs, somebody would be off mic. Or somebody would play a wrong, flub a note real bad or something like that. And because Kiss, when they perform live, they don't just stand there.
No,
you know what I mean? They're like running all over the stage and doing all kind of theatrics and everything. So it wasn't, it wasn't like just stand there and concentrate on your part. So Eddie Kramer said, don't worry, we're going to fix it in the studio. So they spent a few weeks in the studio afterwards, to the point where some songs were almost completely
redone in the studio.
Redone in the studio. And so this is a little bit of a controversy about Kiss Alive, but it was the album that broke them through.
Right.
And when that album came out, it sold a gazooga million, quadrillion, quintillion records. And they went from Ace from making $75 a week to making something like $100,000 a week.
Right.
And spent a lot of it on drugs.
Oh man.
And drinking.
Man.
He had several near-death experiences where he was so crazy with drinking and everything. He wrecked several vehicles in crazy car accidents. One car accident was intentional. He went off pissed. They moved out to California to do the second or third album, and none of them liked California. They were all New York guys.
Sure.
And Ace especially was very kind of sick of California. He didn't like it, and went out one night and smashed up his car, got thrown through the windshield, and they had a photo shoot for Hotter Than Hell the next day or something like that. And so he walked to the hotel, and he told the guy at the hotel, he says, you got to take me to the hospital. Okay, he had lacerations all over his face and everything. So the doctor said, yeah, no problem, you're going to be fine, but you can't put any makeup on that because you'll get infections. So the band was pissed.
Yep.
They had to airbrush
his photos.
His photo
Wow.
to put the makeup on him. But this was Ace. This was Ace. Ace was just Ace. Eventually, Peter Criss was kind of thrown out of the band, and so Ace lost his buddy.
Yeah.
And the band went on to do the album Music from the Elder, which Ace was 100% against. The band had cut their hair. They went for a completely different image and a completely different sound. And Ace was really just kind of against it. At that point, he was really checking out of the band. He lost his buddy, and it just really wasn't. He says, and Eric Carr, I think it was Eric Carr, the drummer.
I think so, yeah.
He brought Eric Carr in to play drums, and Eric, he said that Eric was kind of a kiss up with Gene and Paul. But Eric was like trying to impress his new boss.
Right, exactly.
He was the new guy. His way, he's like, got the gig, probably a gig of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Playing with fucking Kiss, and so he didn't want to fuck that up. So he did whatever they said. He sided with them on everything. But Music from the Elder was considered Kiss's worst album by even amongst Kiss haters. Now, let's talk about Kiss real quick. Now, I know a lot of people don't like them. I think, like Keith and I have gone round and round about Kiss. I'm not, my sort of feeling about Kiss is like, I take them for what they are.
Yeah.
They're not Rush.
Exactly.
They're not Led Zeppelin. They're not the Beatles. They're not the Who.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the Police.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Kiss.
They're Kiss.
Yeah.
They got over a lot on doing a crazy, wild live show that nobody had ever seen before and playing fun, catchy, hard rock songs.
Sure. Yeah.
That all became part of our kind of childhood.
Exactly.
Shout It Out Loud, Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
These Love Gun.
Christine 16.
Yeah. I Was Made for Loving You. Mm-hmm. These songs were just, and then and then they sort of had they had a whole 80s career with Let's Put the X in Sex and
Lick It Up,
yeah. And all these.
Heaven's on Fire.
Heaven's on Fire.
Look at all the songs we know just off the top of our head. Yeah.
So, to sort of just completely write them off, you could just say you don't like them. That's fine. And maybe it isn't technically the greatest, music ever.
Uh-huh.
But, they definitely struck a chord, and they had an amazing career for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And even after... when they become more of a heritage band, just kind of touring on their hits or whatever,
right.
Those concerts were wildly popular. Anytime Kiss announced, that they were going to do something, it was a huge
big
buzz
deal.
around it.
Yeah.
So, let's move on a little bit.
All right.
In 1987, after he had been out of Kiss for a little while, Ace Frehley. Here's what he would do.
Yes.
And he did this on his first solo album, too. He would clean up. He would knock off the drugs and the drinking a bit because he wanted to do a good job.
Right.
So when he did his first solo album in 1978, he did, he actually did a really good job on it. He worked with, I forget who produced this thing. Who produced this?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Let's take a look.
I want to say Eddie Kramer or Bob Ezrin. He worked with both of them. Custom Records.
Oh, Eddie.
He played with Eddie. That's what I thought. Eddie Kramer. Sorry, getting a little mixed up here. Worked with Eddie Kramer on this record, and he really wanted to do. Some of the songs are Kiss-like. Mm-hmm. Some of the songs are not. Everybody, of course, knows the giant hit New York Groove.
Yes.
Which is a Russ Ballard, covered of a Russ Ballard song. But Rip It Out and Snowblind are much more like what people would have associated with his Kiss sound.
Right.
So, but this was, they would all decided to do these solo albums at this time. And I remember seeing them advertised on television.
Yes, I do too.
And Ace's record was the most popular. He sold the most records. He had the biggest hit. Sorry, Gene.
Sorry, Charlie.
But in the 80s, I'm all kind of places here. Sorry, let me get out of. I'm opening email accidentally.
Otis Computer Magic.
So, in the 1980s, late 1980s, he put together a new band, Frehley's Comet.
Yeah.
And I like this project. And he's had different iterations of it, and sometimes it was just Ace Frehley, but he put out some cool songs with Frehley's Comet and as a solo artist. Rock Soldiers, Into the Night, Breakout, and of course Do Ya. This is from the album Trouble Walking. This was a cover of the Electric Light Orchestra song, which I think, in my opinion, he does Frehley's Comet does the definitive version of the song. I think they do it better. We talk about this. I don't know if we mentioned this song, but we've done podcasts on like covers where the cover is better than the original.
Right.
Yep. And this is definitely
one of those ones. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's really, really good. Later on, from Anomaly, they did a great remake of Fox on the Run.
Oh,
the
cool.
Sweet cover.
Yeah.
But yeah. Rocking with the Boys, Bronx Boy. He wrote the song Cold Gin because he says, it was about kind of like working class life growing up. And even though he wasn't a big gin drinker, he said he just liked the title, like the imagery of it, Cold Gin.
Yeah.
And
it paints a picture. Yeah,
that's what you do with songwriting. You go. It isn't so much to be literal about things. It's more about, putting words that sound good together and kind of images that kind of get stuck in your mind. We talked about this when we talked about Rush a couple of weeks ago, where I was talking about how, like, when I heard their music, like, they put, like, images in my mind.
Yes.
And that's what great lyrics do. But yes, just as a postscript about Ace, this is one of my sort of proudest moments, is I got to play a show with Ace's band. It was been 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
And we played at the Palace in Greensburg.
Cool.
To a packed house. We got to open, and they let us play as an electric rock and roll group. They didn't, like, Robin Trower made us at the last minute go on acoustic.
Go acoustic, yeah.
But Ace was like, because Ace knew we weren't going to show him up.
Right.
I knew we were going to show Ace up. Now, come on, he's fucking Ace. But it was a super fun show. They sounded fucking great. He sang well. I believe his bass player sang a lot of the Kiss songs. They did other Kiss material as well. And they were really good. It was funny because when you walked behind the stage, there was a wall of Marshall stacks. There was only one Marshall stack plugged in.
Right.
Now, when I saw Yngwie last year, I counted something like 22 Marshalls, and they all looked, I don't know, all the red lights were on each one. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
But he did a lot with his solo career. He sort of proved that he wasn't just a footnote. He remained relevant. He's did tons of interviews. He was respected. Always interviewed in the guitar magazines. His guitar, yes, he did things where he became disinterested in Kiss, and people like Bruce and Bob Kulick played some of his parts. And other studio musicians played some of his parts. I can't remember which track off the top of my head where he actually did work out a part, and they came in and brought somebody else in and erased it, and had somebody else did. So the bigger issue was he was at odds with Gene and Paul. Oh, it was a personality difference.
Yep.
It was they disagreed with his life choices. You know what I'm saying? So he did some guest appearances as well. In 2016, he did a covers album called Origins Volume 1, which included Paul Stanley and Slash and Mike McCready, John Five. Origins Volume 2 includes Lita Ford, Bruce Kulick, and Robin Zander. He also guested on other artists' projects. For example, in 2012, he played with Bret Michaels on a solo album, played alongside Michael Anthony and Joe Perry of Aerosmith. 1994, Cat Number 1 by Peter Criss, his former bandmate Ace, played lead guitar on several tracks. Bad Attitude, Walk the Line, Blue Moon, Over Brooklyn. So, I know I'm a fucking guitar player and I want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, beyond the makeup and the theatrics and the drugs and the crazy stories. I mean, he's a very colorful character. I think in many ways he is the most colorful character from Kiss. You know what I mean? He's like, he really lived the rock and roll dangerous lifestyle. Is there anything you want to say? I've kind of prattled on here.
When I heard about his passing, the one thing that popped into my head wasn't, it was back there. Wasn't his playing, wasn't his the different appearances on different albums. It was one interview Kiss did back in the 70s with. Do you remember Tom Schneider?
Oh, good. I'm so glad you brought this up.
Tom Schneider. Yeah. And he was, and of course, Gene Simmons is very, being very serious, and Paul's being serious and everything, and then they start talking to Ace, and he was such a jokester, and he was having fun, and so Tom Schneider goes, I see you're wearing this outfit here. It's kind of a, so Ace kind of describes it. He goes, well, you look kind of like a spaceman. Are you a spaceman? And Ace goes, no, actually, I'm a plumber. And it was the funniest thing because it was off there. And then Tom starts riffing on that, going, oh, you're a plumber. He goes, well, I got a little piece of pipe backstage I want you to look at. And Ace is like, oh, tell me about it. And it was the funniest thing. And I said, that's why he's always been my favorite. I'm like, he's always like, like a jokester kind of mood stuff.
What happened
was
so
fantastic.
That, so the story behind that is, I'm so glad you brought that up. Thank you for bringing that up because the story behind that is he was drunk. She was off his rocker.
Oh yeah, you could tell, but
he was
it was
shit-faced,
so fucking funny.
And he was having fun. And after that was over,
Uh-huh.
the only guy that Tom Snyder, whose dressing room went to talk to afterwards, was Ace Frehley.
Of course.
And he thanked him. He said, "You made me laugh so. It was so much fun. Thank you so much."
Yes. Oh,
so something that I think Gene and Paul could probably take a lesson from.
Lighten up, Francis.
Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah, that was cool.
His solo album peaked at number 20. His first solo album from '78 peaked at number 26 on the U.S. Billboard charts.
Okay.
Let's see. 1987's Frehley's Comet. Chart peak not as prominent publicly. I don't know what that means. It didn't really come through. A second outing was released on May 24th of 1988. Trouble Walkin' peaked at 102. A Billboard Top 200 features guest performances by former Kiss drummer and Skid Row. Anomaly debuted at number 27. That was in 2009. So in 2009,
wow,
he debuts in the top 40 on Billboard with an album. I mean, that's that's fucking awesome, dude. Space Invader, which came out in 2014, reached number 9 on the U.S. Billboard Top 200. These are the album rock charts or something. They're not the top 40 charts.
Right.
The only solo album by any past or current Kiss member to hit the top 10.
There you go.
Come on, guys! Like you got to give the Space Ace his fucking due here. So he did a couple of things. He was all right.
He's all right.
So Ace Frehley, rest in peace. When we're gonna hit some fun Kiss music and Ace music and Ace related music in the second half here. So sit tight. Last week we had an issue where my cat unplugged some stuff, and so the second half of the show did not get recorded. I apologize to you all listening on Rock Rage Radio, but the cat is stowed away.
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say I don't see her around.
No. She has been banished from the studio.
Yes.
While
She's in solitary.
Yeah. While podcasts are being recorded.
Yeah, good idea.
So let's switch gears a little wee bit here.
All right, then.
Mr. Pittsburgh, let's
hey, what's happening?
A couple of things. Are you familiar with
Yes. You don't tease me, tell me
I'm
now.
trying to get to it. These notes, I have to say, I have like 15 pages on Ace Frehley, so I have to scroll through here. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. So the show notes on Podbean will give you a lot more information if you want to. So what did you want to tell me about Freebird, Mr. Pittsburgh?
All right. Today is October 20th. October 20th, 1977 is a very tragic day. Exactly. That's this is the day 48 years ago today.
It's the day the music died.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The plane carrying the members of Lynyrd Skynyrd crashed, killing 3 of them. Is it 3 or 4? But every year, October 20th, I'm like, this means something. And then I remember, it's Leonard Skinner Day. Now, that being said, in 1978, I was a mere lad of 13 years old. Now, I had a younger brother and sister, and my mom worked night turn, so during the day she slept. So during the summer, she would hire a babysitter to watch my younger brother and sister. It wasn't for me, Lou. I didn't need no babysitter, Kay. Anyway.
Okay.
So, Grease had just come out. The movie Grease with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. And so the babysitter decided she was going to take my brother and sister down to see the movie. Because she loved John Travolta, that babysitter did, you know. And she goes, Kevin, you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go along with you. Well, it turned out to be like a double bill kind of thing. You had Grease, but the movie before Grease was a documentary on Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I'd heard Skynyrd on the radio, blah, 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 but never really saw them perform. Never saw any footage of them performing. And here is this like hour-and-a-half movie up on the big screen, loud as fuck. And the end of this documentary is them playing Freebird in its entirety. And as this little 13-year-old boy, I am just like mesmerized by this huge,
Cool.
screen and everything like that.
There were rock movies
Yeah.
that were released in movie theaters. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh no, was the the song remains the same. Led Zeppelin.
Right,
Yeah,
right, yep. So for years and years and years after that, I just remember that. And I'm going to say maybe about 5 years ago, I found Freebird, the movie, on DVD. And I was like, yes, I bought it, took it home, cranked up the stereo, turned on the big screen TV, and it was like that little 13-year-old boy guy just sitting there. Went,
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
it's
I
a
saw it
great
on
documentary.
DVD, yeah, Stu had it. Watched it,
And you were actually like kind of a little teary-eyed by the end, man. It's
touching.
really good.
They sounded great. I believe, though, that concert footage is in England.
Oh, where was it? Is it Birmingham?
Yeah.
It's no, Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, I thought that.
Oh, look at the crowd, bro. They're not English.
I thought that there's a British performance.
No, you may be thinking of Leon wearing the British Bobby hat. But that is because, trust me, you look at the crowd scenes.
Good.
Yeah, you look at the crowd scenes, and they're Americans. They gotta be Americans. But it's really cool. I'm so glad I found that DVD, and it's one of those ones I watch like once a year. I really enjoy it. But I do believe it was Birmingham, Alabama. I could be wrong.
I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Okay.
That was.
Yes.
Hold a second here.
Hold on now. Lou's checking it. Because we do not want to give misinformation.
It's not. I don't know. Never mind. Let's skip on down from that. Okay.
Hey, Carl. Thank you for stopping by. Jody, hello.
What's up, Jody?
Hello. Yes, long live Skynyrd, Carl. You are absolutely correct there.
So let's talk about.
Yes.
So this is crazy.
You crazy.
But I think,
Yes.
and so does Art of Guitar, thinks that Cliff Williams from AC/DC played a wrong note on Back in Black. Now,
What?
for years, right?
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 Yes.
Okay. However, whenever you go to play it, when you go to learn it,
Yeah.
you're like, something doesn't sound right. It's like you think it's this. The first note's a G. After the second note's a G sharp, but then it doesn't sound right. And then you play it again.
Oh.
And what it is
Yes.
Malcolm and Angus are playing a G sharp, but Cliff Williams is playing the G.
But is it a wrong note?
I don't know.
Or is it on
it's
purpose?
But it's these two notes. That's the sound that it makes. And I'm sorry, it was not Art of Guitar. It was oh shit, I did. Oh no, I have him. Let me tell you the guy's name here. Let me tell you YouTube channel. This guy right here, he's great. Help me out here, computer.
Come on, computer.
I just want to credit the guy.
Computer.
Let me just play this. I don't want to play the whole video, but I do want you guys. I want to give the guy a shout because this is really interesting. Because I remember I would work on this song, and I'm like, something's not
it's
right
not jiving.
Here. Yeah. Andrew Freed.
Okay.
He's a bass player. He teaches bass on YouTube, and he does this really good breakdown on this, and it's literally the bass and the guitar, and the harmony ends up being G over G against a G sharp.
That sounds great. That sounds fantastic.
Why? I don't know. Is it just a mistake
that
they didn't realize, nobody caught?
Yeah.
Now, bass isn't super prominent in AC/DC songs either.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not the loudest instrument.
Right.
AC/DC is about, the vocals, the drum, the guitar, the vocals and the guitar, mainly, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just a kind of an interesting footnote in rock in rock history that Cliff is playing that G and everybody else is playing a G sharp, and you end up with that sound. I don't know. Maybe they thought it sounded good. Maybe they liked the sort of angry, grinding.
Now I'm gonna have to go and listen to that again.
Yeah,
it is. Catch it.
It is that G note is supposed to be a G sharp. Well, the other guys are playing a G sharp. I mean, so is the riff. Let me do it. That's only one note, and it's only for a second. And I remember learning it and going like, the G sharp, I think, is right, but it sounds weird. The G sounds kind of right
kosher.
Too, but that doesn't work. Like, you know what I mean? So it's.
Wow.
So just a little,
interesting.
Just a little interesting.
Very
thing
interesting.
We're gonna go ahead and get into movies here in a minute, real quick.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
So, have you ever owned any Mesa-Boogie gear?
It's to my deep sorrow that I say no. I have not. Not that I have anything against that gear. I just haven't had the opportunity.
So now this is from Art of Guitar. So the amplifier so they did this brief amplifier. The Mark II C++, Mesa-Boogie Mark II C++, and this is the amp that is used on Metallica's second album.
Okay.
It's used on Metallica's second album, Ride the Lightning. Sorry, I apologize. I've had a couple drinks. So it's used on the first album. They used Marshalls, but they used this, and so people have been seeking this guitar tone. It's like legendary. Everybody wants this guitar tone, and they did. I believe this amp was only made for a very short period of time. Well, eventually, I think once Gibson bought Mesa, they reissued it. And there are some videos online of people getting this amplifier. Oh, man, finally, I'm going to get that tone.
Yes.
And it sounds like ass. And so people are like, is it broken? What? Okay, so there's Art of Guitar got this. He loves this amp. He went out and bought it. It's things like $4,000. He got it like it was a open box at Sweetwater or Guitar Center or something like that. Yeah. So he got a good price on it because of the open box. They told him open box, we can't really give you our 45-day return thing. He's like, oh fuck. So he takes it home and plugs it in, and it's the clean sound is great. He said, but he can't get that sound. It just sounds like like it's broken. He thought maybe it was broken. Mm-hmm. So he went back and looked at the video of I don't know if it was the engineer or maybe it was Hetfield's or Hammett's guitar tech explaining how you have to set this amp up. This amp has tons of knobs. Mesas have all these amps, all these knobs, and every knob pushes out and pushes out, and pushes in.
Yep.
And there's a weird combination of all these pull out, push in sounds, and you have to set the tone controls in a weird place. You put the bass on like 1, and you have to do this whole thing, and voila, there was the sound. But you wouldn't think that by just turning a couple of knobs that like it would transform into this, because it sounded so radically off. So if you're thinking about getting one of these amplifiers, you might want to do a little YouTube search and how exactly got to set it up if you're looking for that sound.
Interesting.
Another great video I ran across real quick this week is by Gavin Brooks, and this guy is a man after my own heart. I teach this exact same thing, and that is there's no one size fits all when it comes to guitar technique. I thought that for a long time and drove myself crazy, and then I started looking at YouTube videos and drove myself even crazier because everybody says, no, you pick like this. No, you have to hold the pick like this. No, and what you have to do is you got to find out first of all, where you kind of feels more natural to you. We talked about this before. Eddie Van Halen didn't hold the pick between the first finger and the thumb. He held it between the second finger and the thumb so he could tap with the first finger. Of course, his picking was monstrous.
Yes.
So this is a great video, and this is because I really appreciate it because this is the kind of thing that I think really messes up players. Is you go and you look at your favorite guy, or you even get his teaching video. Remember the Starlix videos and everything, and he tells you this, and you go like, "Fuck, oh man, it's like learning all over again," and then you still can't do it. So. This is a really good video. I put a link to it in the show notes. Gavin Brooks, the one size fits all guitar technique. There is none.
No.
You've got to kind of find a way. There are some universal things that you have to pay attention to, like tension. Too much tension is going to mess you up. Like either way, with the right hand or left hand. There's some handful of things like that, but exactly how you hold the pick, and exact shape of the hand and everything, that is really up to you. And then finally, one more thing before we get into, we're going to talk film here in a second. What do you think of Bigfoot?
He smells horrible.
Curveball, I know.
He just smells horrible. I'll tell you, if he was like Harry and the Henderson Bigfoot, I'm all for it.
Well,
but I don't think he exists.
Okay. I absolutely think, and there's a lot of, like, not just ancient alien type people, but actual college professors and anthropologists who say Bigfoot absolutely exists.
Oh, fascinating.
The question is, what is Bigfoot? That's the real question. It's like UFOs.
Sure.
We know UFOs exist. We don't.
Sure.
The question is, what are they? We don't know. We don't know. So Bigfoot is in the same thing. So there was a very famous video footage, and I know that you've seen it. Everybody's seen it. It's the Patterson-Gimlin footage.
Yes.
Now, this has, these two guys. Patterson was a documentary filmmaker. He was deaf. He was really interested in Bigfoot. He had gone out to Bluff Creek many times and took casts of footprints, and he was taking tons of photos and filming. He was not a tourist. This was not a guy who just happened to walk by and there was Bigfoot and he took a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
He was really looking. He knew that he had a good suspicion that these things were in the area. Mm-hmm. And him and Bob Gimlin. Bob Gimlin was kind of his helping him out. He was former rodeo cowboy and turned kind of a guide, they take you into the woods and show you how to get around.
Take you into the woods, you never come back out.
Exactly, that kind of thing.
Oh my!
So they caught this footage. This thing crossed a stream, and so when it gets on it, by the time it gets on the other side of the stream, that's when they finally was able. They were so surprised. The horses reared up and they fell off. So it took them a minute to get the camera on the thing, and they shot this footage. So this has been very controversial for decades. This is in the early 1970s, and Patterson died a few years after. Really, died pretty quickly. Bob Gimlin, I believe, lived into this century.
Okay.
Bob Gimlin never once changed his story. It's like Bob Lazar with the UFO thing. He never changed his story, told the exact same story. He passed a lie detector test and never really profited off of this.
Right.
Like, he was probably paid a couple times to be on some documentaries and stuff like
yeah.
that, but he never, like, went on some kind of lecture circuit and, tried to make any kind of big profit off of it. He was kind of a humble guy, but swore till his dying. Now, some people said, "Oh, on his deathbed, he said that it was a hoax." That is unsubstantiated. That is not what happened. So, in the meantime, I believe it's in the 1990s, early 2000s, a gentleman comes up that knew them both and said, "I was the guy in the suit."
Oh, really?
I was the guy in the suit. That's me, and they filmed me, and that's me. And the guy's very tall and kind of he's built kind of funny because of longish kind of arms. There's a kind of a goofy walk. So, and he passed the lie detector test as well.
Interesting.
Right? So the plot thickens. So this is a great video from Cabin in the Woods. They are very serious. I mean, he tries to handle the Bigfoot thing like without a lot of sensationalism. With a lot he tries to keep it skeptical, but he's definitely a Bigfoot guy. Tries to be as pragmatic and scientific as possible about it. So there's a dude, a film archivist, who is restoring the original footage.
Okay.
It's taking a very long time. He's restoring it by hand. This is not what most people have seen of this footage is copy of a 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 copy, digitized crap that's not very clear or whatever. The original, people don't understand, is like actual film captures a lot of detail. Okay, so he's restoring it, and so as he does, certain frames he's released so that people can see.
Right.
And there's one frame that's very famous that you can go look up that he's in the process of doing. This one frame that's done, and you can look at, and there's incredible detail on the face, and And a lot of people signed off. People like Jeff Meldrum, who's a college anthropologist, and a lot of other people have said, like, absolutely not. This is no way. This is a guy in a suit. Yet the guy in the suit says that was me, and he passed the lie detector test. Okay, so now Patterson was making a documentary.
Right.
When you make a documentary, what do you usually have in most documentaries? Even Mr. Ballin has this. Reenactments.
Right.
You do a reenactment.
Sure.
Okay, and they'll put on their reenactment.
Exactly.
Not actual footage.
Not actual footage, yeah.
So, what they believe has happened is that this gentleman that wore the suit, he wore the suit for the reenactment.
Oh.
He's not lying. He wore the suit.
Right.
He filmed it. You watch the Cabin in the Woods video and hear him explain it in great detail. And I find this stuff really, 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 really fascinating. I believe 100% that Bigfoot is absolutely real. What it is, I don't. My opinion is this. I think they're people. I think this is where we're making a mistake. I think the mistake has been made that people think it's an animal. It's not an animal. These are people, and they don't want to be bothered. And so this is why they're very elusive and very hard to find, and they're being very, very, very... They don't want nothing to do with modern human beings.
Society and technology.
Yeah, they don't want nothing to do with none of
yeah.
that. They are built in such a way. If you look at these folks, they're covered in fur. They have very thick skin and everything like that. They don't need... Like me, if the air conditioning ain't right, I can't sleep. You know what I mean?
Right.
But these things are built to live in like all kind of crazy conditions. They're probably super resistant to insect bites. They probably don't get poison ivy. Humidity and cold and stuff like that probably doesn't really bother them all that much. If they are intelligent and they bury their dead and they know how to stay away from humans, I'm just saying. I don't mean nothing by it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
So I just thought that was really interesting. Ran across it this week. So we're gonna talk movies here for the last few minutes before we get out of here. Guys, don't forget to check out rockrageradio.com, and don't forget to go to musicfromthe412.com and come hang out with us in our Facebook group at Lou Lombardi Music. No,
that's the old
that's the
one.
wrong one. It is innercircle.loulombardi.com. So anyway, movies. So you watched some movies this week.
Yes, I did.
So jump in wherever you'd like, and we'll talk about it.
I have two that I really want to talk about, and I have different reactions for each one. So we're going to talk about Return of the Living Dead. Here's an idea. Let me pop this up here and tell you about this. So I had I don't know, I'd maybe seen a video clip on TikTok or something about this movie, and I'm like, oh man, I remember that one. Lou and I actually I should have had this pulled up, but you know me. Hey, Yins know me. So this is a 1985 movie,
right?
Return of the Living Dead. And I'm like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to watch it again, see if it holds up. Here's the thing. It holds up. But let me explain that to you.
Let me explain you,
Lucy.
Lucy.
Let me explain that. This is a 1985 horror comedy.
It's absolutely it's very comedic.
Yeah.
This may have been the first horror comedy I ever saw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because at first I wasn't sure how, because I had seen like Night of the Living Dead and things like that, and
Dawn
those
of
are
the Dead, yeah.
Dawn of the Dead stuff like that, and they're not. There's some funny moments in it, but it's not a comedy,
right?
And so when I first saw this, I'm like, I was a little unsure at first, but I got to tell you, it holds up because it's freaking hilarious. It's a fun ride. It's over the top at times, and as long as you walk in there knowing that brains. As long as you walk into the movie knowing that, you're going to have such a great time. And I am so glad I found it. No huge names in it.
James Karen, who's in a lot of stuff. I watched a movie with James Karen this week, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's the guy from Return of the Living Dead." But go
exactly, yeah. And the same with Don Calfa, who was the mortician or whatever.
Yeah, the mortuarian.
Clue Gallagher is in it too. So these are people you've seen in other films, and other films that were not comedies or horror, not necessarily horror shows. And I. Which one was it? James Karen. They said that James Karen came to the set and he basically set the mood of this movie because he was known for very serious roles in the past, but he just kind of got it. He got it, and the other actors fed off of him, and it's just a blast. It's so much fun. I am so glad I got Return of the Living Dead. Took me right back to 1985 again, and so I'm glad. So there's my 2 thumbs up from me for Return of the Living Dead.
It's got a great soundtrack. It's got like a very whole punk rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's got a kind of like whole punk rock thing going on.
Exactly.
I love when they like the ambulance pulls up and the zombies all eat them, and then
they eat the paramedics.
And then the one zombie gets on the radio and says, "Send more paramedics."
Then the same thing happens when the cops show up. Send more cops.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what'd you get up to?
So I wanted to kind of I watched Signs in 2 parts.
Okay.
And one of the things that I really, just kind of wrap that conversation up real quick is one of the reasons why I love the movies, because I think it's a very hopeful film. Like for a horror film, there aren't many horror films where like they have a kind of very hopeful kind of thing, and it's a kind of story of there's a conversation in the film between Joaquin Phoenix and Mel Gibson where Mel Gibson says, "The way I see it, there's 2 kind of people in the world. There's the kind of people that like think that like no matter what happens, they're going to be okay. Somebody will be there. I'm going to be all right. There's things are going to work out. And then there's the other kind of people who go like, well, I don't know. It's 50-50. Like, it's kind of up to me." And so he says to Joaquin Phoenix, you have to ask yourself, which kind of person are you?
Right.
You know what I mean? and Joaquin Phoenix character goes into the story or whatever, and it's about something that happened to him where he felt like definitely, it was, a kind of a meant to be sort of situation. He says, "Do you feel?" And Mel Gibson's like, "Do you feel comforted?" He goes, "Well, that's all that really matters." And so the movie talks about, the movie is really that's the sort of like thread of the movie. There's a great scene where he goes and meets the man played by M. Night Shyamalan, the veterinarian that his 6 months earlier had killed his wife in a car accident. And he says, "Father." Now Mel Gibson plays a priest who's kind of lost his faith. A minister who's lost his faith, which is that's a great character. That's always a cool character to have in a movie, in a story. And but he says, "Father," he says, I've never fallen asleep driving. I never have since. He says it was almost like it was meant to be. Yeah. And then he peels out and he drives away. But there's all these different things, and when you get to the film, you get towards the end of the film, you start to see where like all these things that happened to them that seemed weird or strange or even bad, like the son having asthma, the daughter's obsession with the water. Meryl striking out, like Meryl says, he says his strikeout record. What does he tell the guy? It just seemed wrong not to swing. Like that. All these things kind of like at the end kind of come together, and you go like, "Fuck!" So the story is about signs. Like there is like a kind of like, I don't know what you want to call it, a higher power, a what's the word? A synchronicity. Whatever you want to call it. So it's like, and it's moving and it's touching, and it's like at the end, like Mel Gibson's character finds his faith again, and it's like it's for like a so-called horror film, it's pretty uplifting. Yeah, it has a pretty good uplifting ending. So I just wanted to kind of say that.
Very nice.
What else did you watch?
So another case of like, I've seen little snippets of this movie around, and I'm like, I need to go back and rewatch Casualties of War from 1989. Now, Lou, have you heard the jokes like, if you buy a Gibson Les Paul off Temu, this is what you get, or you get a much cheaper version. This is if you had ordered Platoon off of Temu. So I'm like, let me see how it is. And what led up to this, I saw a video of David Spade from Saturday Night Live doing an imitation of Michael J. Fox in this movie. And when that scene came on in the movie, the actual movie, I lost my mind because David Spade was spot on.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Sarge, you got to give me a minute here. I'm like, oh, my God. It's perfect, right? So, this one did not hold up. Then I remember back to the first time I saw it, and it really didn't hold up back then either.
Okay.
So it was one of these things. It's as if somebody's like, I'm going to make a Vietnam movie, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch all these other Vietnam movies and just pick and choose what I want. It's like all the stereotypical phrases and scenarios. Sean Penn's in it, which I love. Sean Penn.
Directed by Brian De Palma.
Yeah, did not really like him in this. The phrases. Dinky Dow, man. You Dinky Dow. Oh, Lord.
John Leguizamo. John C. Reilly?
Yes.
Ving Rhames?
Yes.
Okay.
There's constant screaming of, get some! Get some! Well, yeah. Get some other phrases that you haven't heard in other movies. The term hooch. I can't tell you how many times I heard the term hooch.
What about Turner?
Never
mind.
What? Turner and hooch?
Sorry.
Turner and hooch? Yeah. It was just, I think what it was too, even the first time I saw it, is most of the actors in here are known for their comedic roles.
Okay.
Like John C. Reilly. Michael J. Fox is kind of a comedian.
I don't even know if I knew who John C. Reilly was in 1989.
I didn't either.
In 1989.
Yeah. I had forgotten he was in it. And even John Leguizamo is known for like comedy, right? Mm-hmm. It just was really hard to see them as combat veterans. It's like I really tried, but I just saw a bunch of comedians running around the jungles of Vietnam.
This is interesting because it's got a 7.1 on IMDb, and 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Here's my here's my thought on that.
Yes.
And I've heard other reviewers say this. A lot of these movies from the 80s, 70s, and 80s, that like we all kind of went, it really wasn't that great. They're getting revisited and giving a much higher kind of review because today's movies are so terrible. These are like way better.
These sucky, what I would consider not up to par movies are better than what we're
still
seeing
way
today.
better than what we have today. Absolutely, the movies we have today are absolutely horrendous. They're fucking awful.
Oh my
awful,
gosh.
awful. I'm going to mention one here in a minute, but
Okay.
I did not see this movie because at the same time I was like, oh my god, this is like a rip-off of Platoon.
Exactly.
And there's no way you believe Michael J. Fox and everything like that. So I never saw it.
Mallory.
Also, I was a little
Doc.
what's the word I want? Like I was a little burnout. It was like Vietnam. It was like everything was Vietnam. You know, for a while in the 80s, right?
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Every television show, all the characters had been Vietnam vets. The A-Team,
right.
What's his name? Magnum PI,
Magnum PI.
Simon and Simon, like all
Simon and Schuster.
Simon and Schuster.
Exactly.
They had all been were Vietnam vets.
Yes,
you know, and had all kind of Vietnam shit going on. And it was just a little bit. We had just I get it.
Yeah.
Vietnam was terrible, and it worked with the timeline because Vietnam had been over about 12 years, 15 years. So it's like these people that age would have been doing
Exactly.
different stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But we were. It was overkill for me. So I was like not really going to get. I really wasn't going to get into it. Platoon was enough.
Platoon was.
That was enough. That was enough.
Why you don't need
my
anything after
favorite
that.
my favorite Vietnam movie of all time is Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right? Born on the 4th of July is a great movie. There's a lot of good movies, but I have to go with. What's your favorite Vietnam movie?
It's got to be Platoon. Only for the fact that Oliver Stone, Vietnam vet himself, a lot of those things he actually experienced. So I'm like, okay, all right. Now, very close second. You said it. Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I am.
Following in dead last, it's got to be Apocalypse Now. That's a masterpiece. That's not a war film. That's a masterpiece.
That is the greatest Vietnam movie of all
Yep.
time. That is better than Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the greatest Vietnam. That is just a great movie, period. Like you could, there's certain movies you could take out of the genre, and they just are just great movies. In and of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And Apocalypse Now. is
Exactly.
Right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I watched a terrible movie called Ghost Game. You can watch it for free on YouTube. Go watch it if you want.
Ghost Game.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
It's unwipeable. Like there's no
horrible.
excuse for this movie. It was just so fucking bad. Even if you don't have a great budget, you could still like. I mean, they had enough of a budget. Like you could still made like. Okay, so you know Jason. I think his name's Jason Pargan. He's on TikTok and Reels a lot. He's an author, and he's very smart guy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really like if he talks about politics. He's always in a very objective. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Kind of way. But he talks a lot about culture and he talks a lot about. But he had I saw a video of his recently where he was like. He used the movie Alien as example, and he says the problem with most horror movies is the characters aren't smart, and it makes the movie stupid. You end up kind of like you almost some of these movies you're like wait, you just like kill them already, please, because
please get it over with.
They're awful, you know.
Yeah.
And Ghost Game is in this. It's really bottom of the barrel. There's a bunch of these on YouTube for free, and this is one of those. I guess get what you pay for. But again, there was no reason, in my opinion, to make it that stupid. Like what made it bad was not the production values. The production values were good enough. If they just would have told a fucking good story and not had the customers, the characters act stupid, like. Okay, that's it. I'm rant over. What do you got?
So the last one I got into was "Let Me In." Do you remember this one? So "Let Me In" is actually the the American remake of "Let the Right One In." This one starred "Let Me In" starred Chloe Grace Moretz, Richard Jenkins, who I'm like trying to figure out who Richard Jenkins is, and I realized it was the father from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, because they had him made up so well. Elias Cotes is in it. That's a face I know there. So basically what it is, the whole story is little boy lives with a single mom, lives in an apartment complex. A father and daughter move in next door, and spoiler alert, okay, the daughter, played by Chloe, is a vampire. She's like 300 years old, but she presents as this little girl, and they become friends and stuff like that. Okay, this was like, if I had just seen this movie by itself, I would have been, that's a pretty good movie, cool little vampire movie. Okay, the problem is I saw the 2008 movie "Let the Right One In" first, and oh man, where I'm trying to. Is it Sweden, Denmark? It's one that it's Swedish. Okay, the Swedish version of "Let Me In, Let the Right One In" is incredible. As are most like Swedish, like the girl with the dragon tattoo. Brilliant. The Swedish version, the one with the American one, not so good. But anyway, if I had not seen "Let the Right One In," then I would have really been into the American version. But I don't know.
I was terribly disappointed with "Let Me In" because I'm a huge fan of "Let the Right One In."
Exactly.
"Let the Right One In" is really cool.
It's fantastic.
That's a really good story.
Fantastic.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But,
okay. I'm glad you said that.
So there you go.
Okay, because I was okay.
All right.
Great.
Okay. Very good. Back to you, Lee. Right then now.
Right. So I watched a Toby Hooper directed film from the 80s called Invaders from Mars. And you ever seen this?
I might have.
Karen Black is in it. Timothy Bottoms. What's his name? Frank. The guy we just talked from... come on, help me out here. We just said his name. Frank. His last name's Frank. John Frank.
Oh, from
Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, bloody hell. I don't know. You know I've got short attention span.
Invaders from Mars cast.
You know I'm not that smart.
Not the 1953. It's from
No.
1980s. From the 1980s. Yeah, 1986. Dan O'Bannon. Dan O'Bannon also did.
See, I remember this. I remember the cover.
Did Return of the Living Dead as well. Dan O'Bannon was one of the writers for Alien. He wrote Dark Star with John Carpenter.
Yeah,
he wrote the adapted Schwarzenegger, where they go to Mars and he doesn't know who he is.
Total Recall.
Total Reball. Yeah.
Reball.
But this is this is a very family friendly film.
Okay.
Louise Fletcher is in it.
Oh, okay.
Karen Black, Timothy Bottoms, James Karen, that's his name.
Okay.
Yeah, James Karen is in it. But it's very family friendly. It was okay. There is some great creature effects. Stan Winston that made some awesome practical creature effects in it that are really absolutely killer. That's the main attraction of the story.
Interesting.
There's a kind of confusing ending.
Okay.
Like, was it a dream? Did it really happen? Is it starting over? Like, what's going on? I'm sort of spoiling it, I guess, for you. But it's okay. It's for free on YouTube. You can watch it.
It's well worth it.
Give it a shot.
It's
Give
free.
it a shot. You might like it. You might hate it.
That's it.
Guys, we're gonna get into segment 2 here. We're gonna do a little more Ace. Play some Ace music and Ace related music.
Nice.
Maybe a couple new bands as well. We're not going to break the fucking thing this week, so you
No,
actually hear
no
it this
cats
time. Go to rockrageradio.com. You can download the free app, or you can listen right there on the website. Don't forget to check us out Monday nights on Rock Rage Live on Facebook. Music from the 412.com. And you can always hang out with us in our Facebook group at innercircle.loulombardi.com. All right, Mr. Pittsburghs, anything else you'd like to add before we get the hell out of here?
Come visit me on the TikToks, Pittsburgh Kevin, at Pittsburgh Kevin, all spelled out.
The whole tick's talking.
The whole tick is talking about it.
All right, guys, have a great week. We'll catch everybody on. And if you're listen on Rock Rage Radio, stick around. We'll come right back in a minute with some great music. I promise. We'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
See ya.